Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Poorboys Little Homestead. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping by. Feel free to drop by anytime you feel, my friend. Guys, today we got another little package we're going to open up here. This coffee sure is good this morning. And we're going to see what's in this little box. I already opened the first box. And in this box is a solar spotlight 2-pack. Looks like made by Vont, V-O-N-T. That would be www.vont.com, VONT.com. So let's get these little lights out, take a little look at them. Nice solar powered. They got them packaged pretty well. Even sends you a thank you card for purchasing from Vont. Let's see what we got here. There's the light with the solar power on top of it. And you can see it's going to be adjustable. We've got some little ground spikes here. You can stick them in the ground, but you can tilt them to point up, point down. And it looks like, just by looking real quick, they got an on and off switch. And that's what I was hoping for. So guys, we're going to unpack these and I'm going to set them in the sun over here and we're going to let them charge all day. And then at the end of this video, we'll have a little demonstration of these lights and how bright they are at night. But that's a 2-pack. Now guys, there's all kind of purposes you can use these little lights for. And like I said, what I like about them, they got the power switch on them. And I got the little paper here that says, press the power button once to turn on the device. Press the button twice to change the light modes. It must have 2 different light modes. If you got it on, it'll automatically turn on when it detects enough darkness. So you can use these outside and have them set to once it gets dark it comes on, or you can just turn the power switch off. And one of the uses I'm going to use them for, I'm going to set them in my south facing window where the sun will shine through the window and keep them charged. And if electricity ever goes off in the house, all you got to do is go in there and get one of these and push the power button, and then you got lights that you ain't ever got to replace your batteries in. So I'm going to set these over here and I'm going to let them fully charge up, and we're going to continue on. We're going to be replacing a crank cord in a Honda generator, which would be the same as replacing a crank cord in any kind of manual crank engine. We're going to let these charge all day, and then at the end of this video we're going to have a clip inserted of these lights, how to use the power switch, how bright they are, showing you how bright they are and stuff like that. See what the 2 different modes are and check them out a little more. Alright guys, today we got our little Honda generator here. And we're going to replace the crank cord in it. First, I'm going to lift it up here high enough we can work on it standing up. Now guys, I've done a video on this elevator made by Viking Easy Lift here. that's how easy it is to lift something up. Generator, whatever you need that you can't lift up, you could lift it up and you could back your truck right up to it and load it up. And like I said, I have a video demonstrating this lift right here, and I'll try to attach a link in the above up here if y'all want to go see the video on this lift right there. So now I'm going to pull the little lawnmower trailer out of the way, and we're going to move around there, and we're going to remove the crank cord cover right here, and we're going to replace the crank cord in this little generator. Alright guys, to remove this cover here, it's got 3 10mm bolts. And depending on what motor you're doing this on, it's just going to have 3, 5, it just depends on the motor, how many bolts is going to be holding this little cover on. But this little Honda, like I said, this is a little Honda 2800 generator. And if y'all wondering what this is on top right there, that ain't nothing more than a trash can lid. Now I got that lid, it's zip tied on there, that way this thing stayed in the back of my truck. When I purchased it, I was off working, and I had it in the back of my truck using it every day at work, and it stayed in my truck for 8 solid months. So I just put that trash can lid on there so when it's raining and stuff, it wouldn't just be raining straight in on top of the generator. But that's all it is to removing this crank cord. Now we're going to get over here on the table, and I'm going to show y'all how you replace the cord. A lot of people, there's different ways of doing this, but I'm going to show you how I always done it, and it seems to be the simplest way to do it. Now I'm going to get y'all up here where y'all can see, and this is the cord that's in there, and the reason I'm replacing it, because it had a bad spot the other day and it almost broke. So I pulled it out, slid my handle down, but now my cord is real short. Now when I replace a cord in something, I don't go buy a crank cord in a pack. I go to the parts store, and they have this crank cord of different sizes on a big spool, and I think this is 10 foot that I purchased here just so I'd have some extra around, because this cord using weed eaters and a lot. This is the smaller size crank cord, but it's in weed eaters, my blower, and little tiller. So that's why I bought 10 foot, so I'd have extra. And I don't cut the length of my cord until after I put it on the spool. Now you can see that's got a spring in it, and when you pull it, it's got to have enough tension to suck your cord back in. But if your cord is done broke and unwound in there, it's a different scenario than what I'm doing right here. And I'll show y'all that in a moment. But right here, I still have my tension on here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it till all my cord comes out. Then I'm going to hold my thumb on there, and I ain't going to let it unwind. Then I'm going to pull the cord that's in there, and I'm going to just cut the knot off the end of it. And I'm going to pull that cord out. And I'm going to stick this new cord in there and try to feed it right back through that hole. And don't let go of that spring tension. If you do, then you got to rewind the spring tension on it. Now I know I'm turning this where y'all can't see, because I'm trying to get that cord to go through that little hole. And there it is. It fed it through that hole. And I would tie a knot in there. But guys, here's where I'm going to stop and back up. If your cord was already broke and your tension's done unwound off of this, you want to take this and you want to wind it up until you feel the tight pressure on it. and you want to hold it. I got to line the hole back up to find where to tie the string through. But you want to wind it and feel that pressure. Now I'm getting too tight, so I got to unwind mine. But you would just wind it counterclockwise and get your pressure on there and hold that pressure. A lot of people will try to put their string on it and wind it up. It's easier to do it like this right here. Now the hardest part, like I said, is feeding that back through that hole. But you see that there hit it the first time. Now don't let go of that. Tie you a knot in your rope right here. This is kind of one of them things, if you had 3 hands, would make it better. But now you see I got my knot in there. Then that tension is going to suck that cord back in there for me. Now you don't want to let it suck so much cord in there you ain't got no tension. So I got plenty of cord right here. That's over 4 foot of cord. And that's where I'm going to hold it. Don't let it suck it back in there. I'm going to cut my cord. Get my handle back off my old cord. Run the handle through there and tie a knot. I hope y'all can see this because I can't see the camera in this at the same time. I cut that cord. Cut that in a little short, so I'm going to tie another knot in it. If that knot comes out, it'll suck it back in there and then I'd have to take it off again. So I got 2 knots in there. Now this extra cord hanging out right here, I'm going to leave it sticking up about a 1/2 inch and I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to take a lighter and I'm going to melt the end of that string. So let me go get my lighter. So now I'm going to just melt the end of that string. And that'll keep that knot from coming undone. Now don't reach down there and grab that right now, because that nylon string right there will stick to you. And sure enough make a blister. And then I'm going to burn the end of this one the same way. And guys, that's your cord. It's replaced. But like I said, a lot of people will try to put their string in there and turn it before they put the tension. Then they trying to turn it back the other way with the tension with their cord in there, and the cord's getting all bound up. You'll put your tension on it first and then feed your cord in and hold your tension. That's how simple it is. And it don't matter if this is on a power plant, if it's on a tiller, it don't matter what kind of engine it is. It's pretty much the same principle. So now we're finna go install our 3 bolts, put this back on our power plant. Now I was cranking this with that little short cord, but the thing is, you got to be careful when you got too short a cord. You'll pull it and you'll break these little plastic ears. I would say 98% of your motors nowadays, these little ears right here on the crank rope, when you pull it, you see them jump out. Them's plastic. And this here on a lot of motors ain't plastic, but this one's plastic. But even though it ain't on some motors it's not plastic, these ears are plastic, and you'll pull it and you'll snap them ears right there. That's why when you cranking the engine, you pull your cord until you feel it's got a hold, and then you pull it. You don't just grab that cord and yank from the beginning, because it's got that slack and you'll pop them ears off. And I've seen more youngsters on job sites that ain't never been told that'll walk up there and grab that cord and they'll just snatch it. And I'll show y'all here in just a moment. They'll just snatch it from the get-go and they tear up, pop them ears almost every time. If it don't do it the first time, it'll eventually get them. Y'all see how handy this easy lift is when you need to work on stuff like this. But what I'm talking about, guys, y'all see this cord? If a person walks up there and grab that handle and just snatches from right there, it's got that force on them plastic ears when they go to engage. You pull your cord out, see how far it just went? That's 6 inches. You pull that cord out until you feel them grab. Then you pull to crank the engine. You don't just grab that cord and snatch. Because that first 6 inches right there, it pops them plastic ears and breaks them. Then you got to buy that whole piece in there. And that's on any engine. It don't matter if it's a chainsaw or what. You ease your cord out until you feel it got a hook before you pull on it. And guys, most young people don't know that if they ain't never been taught that. They'll just walk up there, they young, they stout, grab that cord and whap. And when they do it, it may not break it the first time, but a few times doing that, they're gonna break them ears off. But guys, that's it for how to replace a crank rope in a manual crank engine. So now we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at these lights we started out with at the beginning of this video and see how bright they are and what we think we can do with these lights. Alright guys, you can see there's the light. That's how much light it puts off. And to me, that's a pretty good little amount of light for a little solar light. Like I said, you can take these lights here and you can put them in front of your Christmas decorations so they'll come on once it gets dark and shine on your Christmas decorations. Then they charge up the next day during the sunlight. I got the other one here in my hand, and what I like about them, they got an on and off switch. I'm gonna turn around here to the dark. And you can see I'm gonna walk around here where it's even darker. And guys, you can see this here puts off a pretty good bit of light. But guys, there's all kind of uses for these little lights. I think I'm gonna take mine and I'm gonna have it in the house in case our electricity goes out, which it does quite often. Like I said, I'm gonna set it in the windowsill facing the sun shining through the window, keep them charged. Electricity goes out, we can run and get a light. We ain't gotta worry about batteries, buying batteries. You can keep them charged. Also, it gets Christmas time. Who knows? Might set one out in the yard in front of the Christmas decorations, and might set one out there in my garden. It gets dusk, light come on out there. I can look out the window and see if anything's out there, deer's eating in my garden. So there's all kind of uses for this little light, guys. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. God bless, and y'all have a great day. See y'all next time.